My name is Nogo Lodan. I'm an elderly dragonborn of around 60 years of age. As a young dragonborn, I was very interested in the wizarding schools of magic and began my studies. As I am very distrusting in others, I made very few friends over the years, but one stuck with me. Trudar Vulcan, a high elf that I met in my younger years of learning wizardry. Around my mid-20s, Trudar approached me with a rumor of an ancient scroll deep within a cave just a few days' travel from the town we were staying in at the time. Of course, in my younger years of age, I was very adventurous, power-hungry even, some would have said. So I was very eager to go to this cave with Trudar. We took out the next morning, spent the next few days traveling to this cave, stopping only to rest when we could no longer ride our horses for fears of falling off. When we made it to the cave, we set up camp right outside of it the first night. That night seemed very long to me. I don't remember if it was the anticipation that I had for finding this ancient scroll, or if it was an eerie feeling that I was getting coming from the cave. It felt as if something evil resided deep within it. When we entered the next morning, it was like my scales were standing on end. I could not shake the eerie feeling. I remember looking at Trudar that day. He seemed to have a look of madness in his eyes while we were walking through the cave. I tried to ask him if he was getting the eerie feeling that I was as well, and as soon as I did, the madness disappeared from his face as if it had never been there. He told me I was just being superstitious and laughed it off. When we made it to the end of the cave, we found an old skeleton holding what looked to be a gnarled doll, a child's play toy, and a hollowed out cylinder of some kind, which I had assumed was containing the scroll we were looking for, but when I grabbed it, it was empty. I turned around at that point, and I looked at Trudar. When I saw Trudar, he had that mad look on his face yet again, but when I asked him if he was feeling okay, it vanished again immediately. From that moment on in the adventure, on our way back to our small town that we were staying in, I only have vague memories of what happened. A flash of riding my horse back through the woods in a grave storm that erupted around us. We took shelter under some nearby rocks. And then another flash of us heading out the next day, storm still raging. I fell from my horse and I struck my head. And from that moment I remember waking up. What I have to assume is the night that I fell off my horse. Everything was blurry, I could barely see. I saw a shape I'm assuming was Trudar by the fire, talking to something. I could not understand what he was saying. He was holding the doll, and he threw the doll in the fire, and at that moment there was a large flash of light and heat, and I woke up several days later in a temple back in the town in which we had started our venture from. I was holding a piece of parchment when I woke. No one could tell me how I made it back to town, and no one seemed to remember Trudar at all. When I looked at this piece of parchment, it only had one singular line on it. One in a language that I did not recognize that day. The other was two words in Elvish. Trudar Vulcan. I later, through many years of studies, deciphered the rest of the message left on the parchment for me. I had discovered that it was written in the language of Abyssal, and reads, "In death lies all answers." Shortly after I managed to translate this letter, I received a note from an old friend that I had not spoken to in years. Yes, it was Trudar. I knew it was him immediately when seeing the note, but I did not recognize the bird that had brought it to me. The letter was written in a combination of Elvish and Draconic. It was a secret code me and Trudar had come up with in our youth to write secret messages to each other. The letter from my old friend was very shocking. I had assumed that Trudar had passed away many years ago in that flash of light and heat. But here I was, holding a letter, just like I remembered all those years ago, exactly how me and him used to communicate. It was Trudar asking me if I had deciphered the message that he left for me that day on the parchment, asking if I had figured out what it meant. I, taken aback, having just managed to decipher this letter after years of trying to learn the ancient language of Abyssal, did not know exactly what he had meant, but I had to assume it had something to do with that ancient scroll that we never found. So, being the accomplished wizard that I was, the only thing I knew that I could turn to at this moment would be the School of Necromancy, so I started my training. It has been roughly 10 years since that day. I have not come far in the ways of a necromancer, but I believe I am getting closer every day to finding my old friend. I have been riding for many years, going from town to town, looking for Trudar, seeing if there was any indication that someone could give me of where his whereabouts might be this day. And now I find myself in this tavern, almost giving up hope on finding my long-lost friend.
What's up, guys? Dragon back here. Hope you enjoyed the detailed backstory of the D&D character that I've made. I hope to do a lot more of these. Gonna try to do about one a week. I had recorded a separate video that I was gonna upload where I rolled all the stats and whatnot for our character here that I've made. If you would be interested in seeing that in the future, please leave a comment below and let me know. I will get that out with the next one. I just had a couple errors with a couple of the video files on this one, so yeah. Just wanted to leave this little message down here at the end. If I can, I'm going to leave a link in the description to possibly a Dropbox file, so you can download this character sheet for yourself if you would like to use Nogo Lodan. I had quite a lot of fun making this video, so yeah. I'm going to attempt to do about one of them a week. No promises that I will be able to get that out, but I'm going to do my best. So without further ado, I'll catch y'all in the next one.